approval on September 30th, 2020 for a two-tiered cast-in-place reinforced concrete wall with landscaping between. The proposed plan now modifies the existing single wall that's existing with a two-tiered engineered concrete block retaining wall, a massive steel grid, with changes to the wall height and construction materials. So it's essentially the wall height and the construction materials. We go into the Mesa modular block design, geogrid, indicates will minimize the volume of earthquake required. The plans show that 475 cubic feet of fill will need to be brought into the site. Their plans show that the setback from the rear wall will be the same as was previously approved. 7.5 feet for the lower wall and 13.5 for the upper wall. That's in the original CBA approval. The notes on the site plan indicate, I think I'm reading it right, the maximum wall height would be 9.5 for the bottom and upper walls on the west face. Maximum height on the north and south face should be 11.5 on the north side and 11 on the south side.
Just a clarification.
Yeah,
Just a clarification.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It's okay. The varying heights, the bottom line is the lower wall is 9 feet. That's what was approved at the zoning order.
Okay.
For the lower wall, that's the max.
Okay.
So it starts at 9 and then goes down to a smaller height on the south.
Does it talk in the zoning law about an average height or?
No.
No, okay, so 9 is the maximum.
9 is the maximum for the lower, 9.5 is the maximum for the upper. The original was 9.5 on each wall.
Right.
It's,
And the landscaping.
Hold on.
Didn't we approve this?
Yes.
It's been
It's back.
approved. This is an
It-
amendment,
it's
this is an
back.
amended
It's
site.
all
Never go, it's never ended.
Never goes
This is
away.
ridiculous.
Well, what happened,
How did this come back? What
because
happened?
they realized that it was too expensive to build the wall they got approvals for. So this is a different design wall, but it needs new approvals
It's an amendment. They just found out it was too expensive.
after they got the approvals.
Dan told him 2 years ago it was too expensive.
Yeah, from the beginning.
I know, I remember, that's why I don't understand.
It's, I was somewhat surprised at myself because the only thing I would think is the height and whatever. It was it's a difference of the landscaping in between and it's just different construction material. So that's a very technical reading of the code.
What's the height of the building that you could construct on that if it was a tear down? How high can that building be?
What building?
His house. Is it 35 feet or 30 feet?
35? Yeah. that-
35 feet.
Yeah, that's it.
And right now it's a ranch,
It's
right?
a ranch.
I don't know what.
No, it's a cape, it's a cape.
Well, I was thinking about the height of the new building and the height of the walls, and that'd be better blended. Now you just got a wall that's 20 feet high and a house that's only 12 feet high.
Let's see
So
the
maybe it
wall.
should be, maybe we should get a variance to make the building
wall.
higher. A variance on the building, so it can be more in proportion with that 20-foot wall, we have a 40-foot building instead of 35.
The bottom wall is
It's creative.
higher than this.
So,
It's-
that was
it's
somewhat
just-
tongue in cheek,
I
I
mean,
think.
We said it before, let's get it done, but it came back.
We did get it
I know,
done.
But it's here. I couldn't
So
believe
there's
this.
still some things
I
that
really can't believe that it's here.
we're gonna have to do at the planning stages, because it was granted subject to the planning board reviewing a construction management plan. I don't know if they submitted that yet.
No, they did submit stability analysis, which will have to be reviewed. The zoning board also was very, they wanted to make sure that the landscape was to your satisfaction.
And there's a requirement that there be no less landscaping than the prior approval.
Right.
So there has to be additional, that's the minimum, so we should be looking for more landscaping. So that's something we have to review this board, construction management landscape plan.
And if you recall, one of the issues they came up with when we were doing the initial review was the geogrid in the soil, that they couldn't put the tree in, you can't cut it, so you just need some confirmation from the manufacturers or the designer that this is acceptable. So one thing they've done different is they have a different engineer They have one who specialized in just geogrid walls compared to what they had before. So, hopefully the analysis proves itself and it sets.
This is gonna go for a public hearing?
Yeah.
It's really not ready, but.
It's not, no, because Dan has in your memo, you have 3 things they need to, items regarding building permits, site plans, and the modular block walls, and other information you might need, so that.
So can we adjourn this one too, so we,
Is this gonna go to court again?
can we?
They submitted a complete application.
If we don't have all the information.
They submitted a complete application. We can ask for additional
All the
information.
stuff that we need.
Right. I mean, they did submit a complete application. We can ask for additional information at the public
Right.
hearing. That would be mine.
I
They
mean,
submitted
Dan
a
can-
complete
Dan can go
application,
over it.
everything
Yeah.
that was required, they submitted.
I mean,
But I think-
essentially, this is engineering work, but I mean,
So we need a construction management plan, so we'll have to ask them.
and there's, you know, the grade.
That's not required with the application.
Right, but it is required before we can grant approval.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we'll start the public hearing, but nothing can get done.
Right.
Dan, you can go through all of your requests for everything, including the management plan, and village landscape consultant will have to get back to us on this, so we got lots of
As well
stuff
as
that we can have
the
addressed at the
geogrid,
meeting.
which is related to the landscaping.
Sorry, Peter, what?
Also, I was wondering if this is, everything is sort of settled except for the landscaping aspect, and then it's mostly at this point more of a building permit review type of order. Is that right?
Well, once it gets this approval, basically all they need to do is submit the plans with the
I
resolutions
think
on top of
I
it.
think where Peter's going is, you really need to have this, and if you're in the construction, if you're in the review of the building, isn't this really construction drawings, and that's where
We
it's
need to
going.
have a construction management plan,
Like it's all about.
and the landscape.
It's a matter how you break the building.
It's the crux of this issue for.
It's more than just the engineering, it's the landscaping.
Landscaping is critical.
Construction management plan and some other.
Because essentially,
Do we ask this for every house, everything's built in hill in this town, so.
yeah,
Oh,
and
believe me.
normally,
Oh, believe me.
Okay.
well, yeah. We-
Some could, it's fine, so the applicant's clear as to the focused items to go to us.
Well, he will be.
So you, from my, the originals, what's very interesting is they had approved plans done by Fusion Engineering. That firm no longer exists. It's ARQ.
Yeah, I know where
We're part of it.
yeah.
ARQ was using Paul Bertet. They didn't give us the same information that they gave us the first go around that we asked for. So why would you leave? The original submission had 3 sheets, you only have 1 sheet now. Why would you do that?
Smaller font.
So Peter, I think Bob needs to update you on all the history of the project.
I'll meet you at a bar and I'll tell you.
Yes,
You have
It's
3
very
hours.
long.
Bring a big bag. It's been going on for
Okay,
years.
enough said.